Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Love and Everything in Between podcast. And today we're going to be speaking about a very interesting topic, long distance in relationship, in marriages. How do they cope? How do they sustain and keep love alive? But we'll delve right into it in a few seconds.
I don't think we've ever really been in a long distance relationship.
You told me that if I stay apart, if we stay apart for 3 months.
I don't deal with those things but 3 months at least I said I would try the 3 months.
But the course I wanted to go for was more than 3 months. Exactly. So that was why
I know myself.
That was why it never happened.
So that self-betrayal. So, and I honestly don't think I've ever been in one. And I can imagine how challenging it would be.
Because I haven't been through it, I can't say.
Yeah. So because we haven't been through it, we said let's talk to someone who actually understands the nuances of actually being in a long distance relationship. We have our dear friend Lamide Dixon in the building.
Yay!
Thank you for having me.
So Lamide, I remember when I first met you, and I met the kids, and I'd been meeting you, seeing you, and I was like, where is daddy? Like, I think when it's a very uncomfortable thing that you're not sure how you want to ask this question, you understand? Because I didn't know what the circumstance was at the time. Well, I was just curious to know, and then you're not like, oh, he's away but comes, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's gonna be back, so yeah, continue. Then 1 minute you're like, oh, he's around, and another minute he's gone. I'm like, wait, hold up.
We thought he was just going to.
What's going on here? What's going on here? So can you shed a bit of light on this, how it started, and then how long it's been, and just pretty much let's know what it is.
Okay, and thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
I know that you remember that you met him once.
Yes, I know. He's met him twice. I met him once.
He came for cell meeting.
Yes, you brought him for cell meeting.
I was trying to,
integrate him.
So I think because we met through a mutual friend.
Okay.
Actually, and at that time he was schooling, and my friend was schooling, and she comes like, Lamide, you've not gotten married. Kilo shelle, and everything. And she was like, there's this buddy of mine, very calm, very this, very that, She marketed him so
very well.
They were classmates, they were hostel mates, and they were doing the same course. And of course, my friend, we went to secondary school
together. Okay.
So if she's told me about someone, like I could just trust her judgment.
Okay.
With someone we spent 6 years in boarding house,
together.
We used to do everything. So when she told me, and even before him, she had tried one other person.
Okay, to hook you up with someone else.
And then this person was like, I said, no, all right, no. And then when she now brought him, I'm like, where did you put this one?
This
is the one that you should have
brought to
forward,
me,
And then that's how we met, and then we got talking, and I realized, okay, I think this guy actually fits
what you're looking for.
Fits what I was looking for. So at that time, he too was like, how when they introduce you to someone and then you've not even met the person, so you don't even know what you're going to see and all of that. And then, so he was like, he thinks, and then they were still in school.
Okay.
So as a student, he was still in school at that time. So he had to come home and then just
meet up.
I think the essence of really coming home was actually to
access to see if
you know how they say that you just see pictures,
you're not so sure,
yes, maybe the person is looking
photoshopping the picture.
I think that's achieved that, and then he came, and I was like, wow, this guy actually looks
dashing.
Looks dashing, that's the word. And then at some point we talked, and I was like, okay, we'll just keep it going, let's see how it goes. So he went back. And then at another point, I needed to go on a vacation also as well. So I was like, okay, let me to go and check him
in his own environment.
So I also went and I saw that everything was adding up. And then that's how we took it. And he was like, he's not sure he wants to do
long relationship.
Short like that. So, before we know, we're already talking about
marriage,
getting married, and everything was seeming so fast. But I think one thing caught me was because I think I was certain that he was the one.
Okay. So there was no question, no doubt.
telling myself that so let me try and be digressing as well. So for anyone that wants to go into long distance, you have to be sure. And then nobody's going to be sure for you. Nobody's going to be sure. So and then one thing about long distance is you also have to be sure that you're going to put an end to long distance.
Yes.
So I think
so there's an end point.
There's an end point because it's not going to be long distance forever.
Ever. Yeah.
Who's going? Because if it's long distance forever, please.
Then there's no point.
Then there's no point.
Yeah.
So once you are sure of that, you are sure of the person. You are sure that yes, I'm okay. I'm comfortable. You've done your background checks. You've checked everything. Someone knows him. You know somebody. And then I had aunties to that also. At some point, you were able to.
Gotten involved.
Maybe there was a party. In fact, there was a particular party he went.
And
then there was a lot of coincidences as well. Because when I was not telling my daddy about him, that there's this guy I met. This is his name and everything. And my dad was like, are you planning to get married to somebody that is older than you? But because he knows one person by that name, like same name. And I'm like, no, you cannot know this person. Because if you say, and then my dad now said that person was his classmates.
It's not possible.
But coincidentally, it was his uncle.
Oh.
And they were same surname, same name, everything. So when my dad, talked about it, I was like, well, looks like this thing is
getting to that point.
Arranging because there was a coincidence. And my dad was like, no, they were very cool they were in the same class in secondary school, and because my husband is a twin. And then this set of people today are also twins, so it was the same surname, So that's what caught my dad and said, I hope you're not planning to get married to someone that is as old as
I am, yeah.
Because I knew someone that has this name and this surname,
and he's also a twin.
So I was like, Daddy, it can't be. And then I now called him and I was like, please, my daddy's talking about this person. Do you know? He was like, those are his uncles, and everything. And then that's how it started getting better and everything. So. From there, before you know it, we did it, we fixed our dates, and then we got married. And then we discussed on eventually we are going to move in at some point. Okay,
so sorry, quick question. Yeah. While you were dating him, were you already aware that it was going to be a long distance relationship, or did this happen?
I thought I was aware, because you know how somebody needs to just go and settle and prepare for a family, and then your family is coming and all of that. So yes. I was sort of aware. And then I was willing to wait for how long it was going to take. But one thing I knew was I was sure that it was the one. So when I was sure, which is key. So if I wasn't sure, I would have said, okay, I'm not sure I want to do this and all of that. And then in between, our kids came in. Yeah. And then it was a good thing he came home every time.
Yes.
Okay.
Like he came home. That's why we have 2 kids already.
Yes.
My first son is going to be 11 next month.
Yes.
And the girl will be 8.
Okay.
So in between, he was coming home. So you can see that there was a regular
involvement,
regular visits
as
well, because and then I think that it was even way economical for us, because you also have to look at the way the marriage is, because our costs were doubled. He's paying his rent there, he's paying our rent here, he's doing all of that. So you just have to find a way to balance. So imagine if we were the ones going on vacation all the time, so it was cheaper
for him to come.
To be coming. So the only time I think we missed him coming was during that COVID period. So that COVID period, we didn't have him, so we had him like maybe. I think we were apart for like 2 years, but for every other time.
Throughout the COVID period?
There was a travel ban.
There was travel ban, so there was no movement. So COVID period really made it
crazy.
No movements.
Tougher.
So
how were you able to cope in that period? How was he able to cope in that period?
Well, I don't know. I think for us, I know that to an extent, or to a very large extent, not to an extent, to a very large, I want to quantify the extent, we both have self-control. So first of all, when self-control is there, you know that there is nothing actually outside. This is my husband, this is my wife. So I think that's what
has helped.
Works for us.
Yeah.
And then thank God for technology, the video calls.
You can see each other.
And sometimes when I don't even hear from you, I'm like, please, what's going on? I've not heard from you today. So the calls were constant.
Okay.
So I knew when to expect his call. So if I don't hear his call, I'm like, please, what's going on? Something might be wrong. So I knew his schedule. I knew when he was at the gym. I knew when he goes to parties. I knew, and then somehow a lot of things always confirm his movement. Like there was a particular time he was going for a wedding, his friend's wedding, and then he met one of my auntie there. And it was very coincidental. They even took a picture
and sent it to you.
So we had so many people, and then when he tells me things, I'm going for a wedding in this place, it might be another city as well. And then that another city was where he met my auntie. My auntie was like, oh, it
was confirmation
for you.
So, and then my auntie says, well, your husband is a very good guy, very this, well cultured, very, So every time somebody meets him, that's always the
feedback.
So I think at that point,
you put your mind at rest.
My mind at rest. So I just knew that I just had to focus on the kids.
Okay, so now coming to the kids.
Yeah.
Because of the way you say he comes and goes, I want to believe that not at every stretch when he comes, he stays for an extremely long period of time.
Okay.
So I'm sure that your first pregnancy, obviously pregnancy is 9 months.
Yeah.
So you guys would have had to like estimate or value at what point would be the best time for him to be around.
Yeah.
So probably the 9 months he couldn't have been there. I don't know if he was there. You can correct me if I was wrong. For the duration of the 9 months, was he there?
He wasn't. You know how you're not sure of your
due date.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That you guys would have probably discussed on at which point would have been a better time for him to come. So
well, I think for that time, because he's an employee somewhere, so you cannot take so much time.
Yes, an extended time.
So the best time was to be around for christening.
Okay.
So that's how we managed it. He was always around for christening.
So at any point, how did you feel? I know you said you were prepared mentally that, okay, I'm getting myself into this, but I'm a woman. Yes, expectation versus reality. First time being pregnant, that 9 months, I don't know if you had an easy pregnancy. But even if you had an easy pregnancy, being by yourself at that point, knowing that I'm not the one that gave myself this pregnancy. Where is this man? Today I want him to rub my back. Or you understand? Like, how did it make you feel at any point in time? Like, how did you deal with it?
Okay, so I'm a very energetic person, and then I was always working, and then it's such that I always walk like, I don't know how, my 2 pregnancies were like that. I walked to almost the last day that my baby was coming out.
You had good pregnancy.
All my pregnancies were, my 2 pregnancies, not all. 2 pregnancies
were very good.
Very good. I didn't have stress. I didn't have anything. So I was like, why is God just arranging
like, I was just saying, you're so lucky.
You know? And then sometimes my siblings was like, that's your secondary school that you went to. I went to command. So command probably is part of what has prepared me for. So I don't even think about it. And then I remember that, and then because his family, my mom-in-law, she's still, we have a family house. So I just know that when I want to have my children, I just move to Ibadan. So there I'm always well taken care of.
Okay.
All the antenatal visits and everything was just the period while I'm in Lagos.
Then the minute is close to.
And then, I just move, and then I move to. So I always move like if I move, like when I had Korede, I think I moved to Ibadan maybe August 31st or something.
And then give birth to him in September.
I gave birth to him in September. So that was it. And then my father-in-law, God rest his soul, he was always very, he was always hands-on, hospital visits and everything, I had all of that covered.
So you had a good support system.
I had a good, very, very good support system.
So yes, you were a teacher, you had your second pregnancy. Korede was still like 3-ish.
Yeah, because he was still in preschool. I think.
Yeah, he was still in preschool.
Okay.
And I remember thinking to myself that, how is this woman doing it? Like,
they try.
You're alone. You go home at night, and then it's just you.
Yeah.
So I also try to picture it. Okay, NEPA takes lights. You have to put on the generator. Like, do you understand? How did you cope with all of that? You can't say everything must have been good.
No, I can't say everything was that because the bad part of it is still the absence of him.
Yes.
So it's not like it was good, but because when you just have to make an adjustment and you know that there's a timeline for this thing.
So your goal was this.
Exactly. So like I said earlier, that in a long distance relationship there must be a plan to end the distance. So if that is not in place,
then there's a problem.
So I just knew that very soon it was going to happen. So for all of that, even on my what even made me to even I switched jobs. I used to work at a consulting firm, but I had to, by the time I had Korede and I came back and I resumed back at my consulting firm, and I saw that I couldn't really manage because I was closing late.
So where would he be?
But then my family house was still very close to where I was staying. So I had supports from also my family. My sister was the one always taking care of Korede, and then my grandma, so everybody was hands-on for Korede. But at some point, it wasn't, I felt like, I don't know how I'm going to do this thing like this every
continuously.
Day. Like, and how the demands of working in a consulting firm is you're researching, you're going for meetings, you're traveling. And I'm like,
it's not like there's a husband to say, okay, you will be at home.
Do you understand? And then both of us were not around. So I just had to tell myself that at this point in time, I need to do something flexible.
Yeah.
So I looked at myself and I said, okay, Lamide, you studied education now. Because I studied education in Ife and I also went for an MBA.
Oh, wow.
I have an MBA from Great Ife. So I didn't even think I was going to be teaching at some point. But at that time of my life, when I had Korede, I realized that something had to be flexible for me to raise Korede, for me to be
there for him,
for me to know that,
at least one of you is there to impact on him.
Because it cannot be, two of us cannot be
not
very
around.
absent. I think it will affect
them.
So at that point in time, I remember when I applied for one school, and then I told my husband the salary, and he was like, hey, when it's not as if you do not go to school, why will you take that kind of job? And I'm like, hear me out now. Listen to the
reason,
listen to the reasons, and then the benefits and everything, and then it was going to cover. He was going to cover tuition. So I was like, I think it's a good deal. So let me take it. And then the fact that I have to drive to work with Korede, I'm looking back and Korede is in the car seat. I drive to work, and then I go back home, and then we're going back at the same. So anytime I'm leaving,
he's living with you.
He's living with me. So I'm like,
it's better.
I don't see a problem here. That me, I feel like I should just jump at it. Salary was very, very low, but I took it. So I think this was one of the things that, and then the salary was, it was, when you divide your former salary into 5.
What?
That was what the salary was. But I just looked at it that at the end of the day,
you'll be there for your child.
I'll be there for my child, and then it didn't really matter. So that worked. And then shortly after, I had Coinsola too, and it was still the same arrangement,
Working at school.
So I think that helped me to be with them. So that helped me to do all I was supposed to do. But it wasn't easy. Like I said, I had support system. So I can't say that it was so hard. I had support at every point in time.
So now, I want to go to the children.
Okay.
When they were younger, they probably might not have noticed that, okay, one parent's figure is not frequently around.
Yeah.
Now they're older. Kids are very curious, and they would ask questions.
Yeah.
They would make demands. They would notice.
Yeah.
How did you manage their expectations? Because they are much older now. They know. They see parents come to school.
Yeah.
When they see their friends' parents come to school and all of that, and it doesn't necessarily apply to them. Not because there's a loss or anything, but just because this parent is not around. How did you manage that expectation? How do you now?
I had situations where there was a particular year that I had to show up for Father's Day.
Oh.
So there was a particular year I had to go and drag my brother-in-law. And I said, please.
You will be
I said, please, you want to rent your daddy so that Korede and Koyi so that they're not looking in the crowd. So I've had that time. And then I've had the time I was able to show up as a father on Father's Day. I was feeling out of place, but I'm like, oh, please.
I'm going to do it. I'm here for my children.
I'm here for my children. So, every time they see me show up for school activities, either regardless of Father's Day, but I knew how they will feel if nobody was
there at all.
So I always made sure somebody was there. There were times where I wanted to even drag my dad. My dad would be like, say,
now you go constant today.
Or for sometimes it didn't work or something. But I know that at one point I dragged my brother-in-law. That's my sister's husband. So he showed up, and they did not know. I didn't tell them, so it was.
It was like a surprise.
So when they saw him, I saw the joy in their face, and then and then we're really thankful that somebody really showed up. So now that they are growing, I have times when my daughter comes back to school and says, my mommy, this person they've gone to London. No, when are we going? And I'm like, don't worry, soon
very
soon. She comes back and tells me, mommy, this person too, they've gone. No, when are we going? I'm like, don't worry, very soon. So now and it's now such that it's so because of technology.
Yeah,
they know the time he calls. So sometimes I hear my daughter say, mommy, has daddy called you today? I'm like, he called. You were like, but how come we didn't know when you received the call? I'm like, I was in the car. So they know the timings. They know the
routine as well.
They know the routine. They know when he calls and everything. And then sometimes I pick my phone and I will see that my daughter has chatted her dad. And she'll be like, in fact, there's this message she's always sending her dad. She'll say, good evening, daddy. This is Koinsola. And then I just want to, she'll say, how does she put it? I'm trying to put it in the way she puts it. She says, good evening, daddy, the king of our house.
Aww.
So she calls him to I just want to check on you. And then she'll drop like plenty hearts.
Emojis.
She'll drop them in blue. And then I'm like, please, when did you pick my phone to do this? And then she now puts it and she now say, this is Koinsola. I'm like, oh. So I like me that I'm with you.
You did not give me
emojis that you are giving your daddy. You don't give it to me. So and then I have times so when in fact, recently, I just checked my phone. I just saw family group.
Korede
his dad got him a phone.
And he has created family group.
He created a family group.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, wow. So what I did is I just edited the name. In fact, he took the picture. The picture he took was the picture of when I had Koinsola. The family picture. His dad, myself.
And he was there.
He was there, and I was carrying Koinsola. And he took the picture. And I was like, that's, you know, and I
he knows how to arrange.
You know, and I messaged my husband. I was like, Korede has created
family group.
Family group. You know, he titled it family group. That's what I call it. So
but you obviously make it.
I just edited. I just wrote the Dixons, and it comes into the group and it says "Good morning, Daddy," and that's "Good morning, son." And you know, we just. So I think those are the part of things that
make
helps
it
us
better.
You know, so he knows that yes, your daddy is. Sometimes he wants to say, "Please, can't call your daddy." So they have that channel. The channel is there. So it's not like I can. If you were in the olden days, I used to think about that. This long distance. Like I asked myself that if it was all those movies that we see that, you know, that they will say somebody's daddy went abroad.
And you don't hear,
the wife is in the village and they say there's one place where they want to go and collect letter. So I was just saying that, you know, the woman will just run somewhere. She just say, my husband has written letter and then she's coming and she's reading the letter to the children. I'm like, thank God for technology. Technology bridged that gap. Sometimes he's driving and then my daughter is switching to video call and her dad is saying, I'm driving. Don't worry, when I'm not driving, I'll call you back. And I'm like, you need to ask your daddy, are you driving or not? Before you just do video call. So Koinsola is always, my daddy. She's the one that is always, I think then when people say girls have a thing for their dad, I see that a lot. So, so far so good. They've been managing
the relationship.
And then because I tell them that very soon. And truly,
very soon. So, sorry, I've just been the one firing question.
I see that. So
okay.
I've been
fire the questions.
So I know we've spoken to you about it, how you've handled it. Yeah. I want to believe that it wasn't easy for him as well.
Yeah.
Not being there, most times not getting the hugs, the cuddles,
and
you know.
The fact that he doesn't even get to see the children physically.
You understand?
Or things are happening.
He's not the first. So most times, I know you might want to be the first person to tell him to tell.
There was a time that when I moved to our former place where you guys were, the day we moved, we were packing things up, and then all of a sudden I broke down. You know, we were on 3rd floor, and then I sat down at the staircase. I started crying, and I'm like, this moving, I'm not going to do that. The next moving, I'm moving.
It has to be, you are going.
See, anything that will make me move again. Because it was really tough. It was really not easy, you know. And it was like, I was like, And sometimes I'm like, how? You know, but, you know, because sometimes when you know the man you marry, and then I say that there was commitments. And there was efforts.
Yeah.
And there was also communication.
Yes.
So with those 3 in place, I think we were just doing fine. So every time I call him, how was your day? What did you eat? And then sometimes maybe I watch a movie, I'll be like, you need to see this movie. Please watch it. Then let me know when you have watched it. So we just
can talk about it.
So we just have things to actually talk about. And sometimes, and then maybe when he's going for a party, I'll be like, let me see how you look. And then, you know, that kind of, so we have to do all those kind of things.
Find creative ways
So we find creative ways to just talk about how our day went. You know, I know at every point, I know where he is. And then if I'm somewhere, he knows, you know, it tells me, I'm off to a party or I'm off to the beach. And then I think we also do that just to create a sense of trust. And then at every point in time, we're not feeling like, I don't know what this guy is up to. I don't know where he is. So at every point in time, I think I know that, okay, he's at work. He's with his friends. So he was always updating me. And then I also do the same as well.
Okay.
In fact, a lot of times when people see me driving, they just see me with kids, and then I'm like a mystery. They see me here, they see me buying gas, they see me, and they'll be like, you know, and see, who is the responsible? Which I don't see anybody
with you
around her and everything. And then all of a sudden, and then he visits. And of course, when he visits, they begin to see me like, So when he now goes back, you'll be like, and see, that person that we saw, she
is your husband.
You know, be like, be like, hey, I want to saw.
That maybe it was an imaginary husband.
Everything. I'll be like, I want to wonder and everything. I'm like, yes, that's my husband. So, you know, we know that I just believe that every family does what works for them. So you have to find what works for you. So the bottom line is, I know, he knows, the children know that there's going to be a time. And then I always tell myself that the times we have spent apart is going to be less than the times we spend together. Let's assume we're going to be married for 70 years. and then we've been apart for 11. So you can still say that 70 and 11.
There's still more time.
Tarries, if Jesus tarries, there's still more time. So, and then I think that I also have a friend that she doesn't know that I saw her parents. We went to secondary school together, and then her parents were in that kind of arrangement. So somehow I was close in contact with
the parents.
So I knew how
they handled it.
There. I knew how they all went to secondary school, they all went to university, and after university, and then things changed, and then their mom eventually moved. So sometimes I think God had a way of just
placing people around you to encourage you.
I had that couple figure.
Okay, to look up to.
You know, and I'm like, I never spoke to them, but because I was always visiting my friend, and then I'm like, mommy, I hope you're hearing from daddy. So, you know, that kind of relationship was also there. And then it worked. And I saw that mommy eventually went. And in fact, as a matter of fact, I'm attending daddy's birthday tomorrow.
Okay.
Daddy's turning 71. And then I have them as they were like my role model in my mind. Even my friend will be surprised to hear that I'm saying this. But I think God had a way of placing things, and then, you know, things happen around you that encourages you. And then, so that's why I said that first of all, you must be sure that this is for you. Because everybody has different ways of getting, you know, you have different ways of meeting your partner. Some people you meet different places where you can meet your partner anywhere. But are you sure that's your partner? So you must have that surety that this person is meant for me. So if you are certain that that person is meant for you, everything around that thing, God has a way of making everything work. And then there's sometimes when I'm discouraged and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I just talk myself through that. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of... And then now that the kids are really grown up, there's no space. They're always talking about their daddy. Because will come home from school. Mommy, these people, they've gone. You know, Jackpot season. So Jackpot became like Rapture. And then in Consolas Fast, a lot of people were just going. And then Consolas says, when are we? I said, don't worry. Don't worry. I said, everybody's time will come. Don't worry. Our time will come.
Okay. So there's one more thing that I wonder about. And I think because I've seen this happen on about 2 occasions where people have been in long distance relationships. And then when they eventually do come together, there's such a massive disconnect. There's so much friction. And they're not able to adjust to each other because
now you're in each other's space.
I'm married, but
you're not here.
So how do you think that will happen to you? And if it does,
well, I just think that because we're 2 different people, from my own end, I've been able to say, okay, these are the things that
you foresee
that upsets this person. So I think I don't know how that is happening, but there's an understanding from afar. So I feel like, and then I think it's also, you know, it's also going to be on his side. So he knows that by the time we eventually come together, it's not, I know it's different when 2 people are in
the same house, physical space.
And then when 2 people, but I just feel like whatever differences we have, I probably think
you guys will
just come to a compromise and then try to
work around it.
Because we can't have come this far. And then I just think that we'll keep fighting for what it is, because is what it's, we've been apart for this long, so why won't we want to?
And you've fought through it.
We've gone through it, and then we've gotten to this.
So I think I have one last question.
Okay.
Quarrels, conflicts.
How do you manage
that? Because he's not around for you to talk about it. Because like now, maybe if you want to call, he's at work.
Sometimes when we're having this our drama, he will just, once he sees that maybe something is working me up and then I'm talking about it, and then I'm typing, I'm like, I'm at work, I'm not reading. I'll be like, hey, you know, and he'll be like, we'll talk about this later.
When I get home.
You know, and everything. So there are some times that we have, you know, normally there's nobody that is perfect. We have times when we've fought each other, we've quarreled and everything. Well, I always then at some point I told him that, see, I think there was a time I said, see, whenever we are having quarrels, I don't like silent treatment. We will need to walk through it because it's worse. Because I'm not seeing you physically. So if I'm seeing you in my space, if you want to be doing
ignoring,
but I'm seeing you, I'm okay, but I'm not seeing you. So whatever it is, we try to settle it. Not like we don't have our quarrels, we really do. But we find ways to just settle it, because it's not easy. Because I'm like, even if I want to shout so much, I can't even see you to shout. So sometimes I'm just typing, I'm typing in my mind, I'm typing, and then he knows that you'll be like, all these plenty things, I'm at work. Or he'll just tell you, if I type like, I can type like maybe 50 paragraphs. You just tell me, I'm at work. So when somebody says I'm at work, please.
They've poured cold water on your body.
What do you want to do? So if he now finishes at work and they want to start, and he'll be like, I just finished working.
Can I drink water?
This number hour of shifts. But at the long run, we find ways to
balance and work
through it.
Wow.
This you are brave.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being brave.
You're both.
Is it you're tired of being brave?
I always tell people that I'm tired of being brave. Maybe everybody say, Lamide, you're strong. I say, please, you should stop saying strong. I don't want to be strong again. Like, if this is what you are calling strong, because in all of it, it's not so easy. But I thank God, because I think at every point in time, I had activities
to
engage me. So I'm already focusing on the children. And then if I'm not focusing on the children, I'm doing my businesses, or I'm doing one thing. I had a lot of things taking my mind, and then, so the little time, so where is even the time? Before I put this on, before I finish cooking, before I finish doing this, time has gone, and then we're just on the phone, and then we'll talk. Sometimes, as I was coming, I was looking at, I saw a video. I was looking at a video of a set of people that they're close to me, then a long distance relationship. And then she says, long distance relationship, and it was an anniversary. And she was like, this is how we've been staring at ourselves, wasting Wi-Fi for hours, not saying anything. She was just eating. It was a video. I saw it as I was coming. She was eating. He was watching TV. So sometimes we're on video calls.
Just leave it on.
I'm just watching. I'm like, please, what are you cooking? And then he's eating. I'm like, what are you eating? I'm like, and that kind of. And then I said, Daddy, I want to eat this dog, but no, that kind of. So we, video calls and all of that. It helps us to make it easy, because we have to make use of communication, commitment, and efforts. Yeah. If effort is not there, it can't work. If communication is not there, it can't work. If commitment is not there, it can't work. So there must be a goal, there must be a plan. So you'd have discussed this and said, okay, at this point in time, this is how it's going to happen. So, but if you are going into a long distance relationship and then you're just somebody was sharing recently with me that she has this person who has been dating for a long period of time, and he's been sending her money, but she has never seen him. And she was telling me that Lamide.
It's not really.
And she was like, Lamide. And she was like, Lamide, he's sending me good money. He's sending me good money. And I'm like, but you've never seen him. I said, please, come on.
That's not really.
So that's an instance where you know that
this is not.
But if there's no plan to say, I'm coming to see you, or I'm planning to meet up, or you are coming to meet me, that kind of thing.
Just
so it's not. So you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
And then you have to work towards that plan. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so I like the fact that you've been very honest and sharing and being open with us. But something bugs at me, like the parenting decisions and style for raising the kids. Does this solely rest on you, or because I know there's some things that you need to make immediate decisions about before you can reach him or engage him? How
do you manage that?
In fact, yeah. For the first question, immediate decisions falls on me because I'm the one with the kids. So sometimes
you're both okay with that.
You both agreed.
I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm like, because sometimes there's no time to probably reach him. I need to make some decisions on the spot, and then sometimes I tell him I've done this, so And then I remember there was something that happened last week, and just to reach him before I could decide take a decision, but I couldn't even get him. Like at that point in time, I think he wasn't picking or something. And then he called back maybe like something. I was like, I was trying to tell you about this thing, but I'm already here. Anyways, what would you have done? He was like, yeah, you're doing the right thing. So sometimes I already take decisions. I don't need to wait for something, because some things will need immediate. And there are some things that maybe like when it comes to scolding, I do mine, and I tell him that, oh, this is what Corridor has done, so I need you to talk to him so that he knows that I'm not only the bad cop here. So you two need to do your own. So and I'm like, he'll call Corridor, and I'm like, Corridor, has your daddy called you? And he will say yes. And I'm like, has he spoken to you? Yes. I said, what did he tell you about? Was it the same thing I said? And he'll be like, yes. So somehow, anything that happens, I tell him, and then if he needs to relate with them, he will relate with them, and then we'll work.
So you guys picked on, you guys have agreed on a parenting style together?
Well, we didn't.
Or you just worked that.
You just worked it out.
Yeah, we just worked it out. So
Okay.
he didn't like. There was no. We didn't have a conversation to say this is how we'll be doing it. But I just think automatically, because I'm the one with the kids.
Ground.
So major decisions as regards the kids, it falls on me, and then I just run by him, or I tell him earlier, depending on what the situation is. If there's time, I'll be like, we want to do this, so I tell him. And then sometimes there's probably no time like that,
So do you feel like when you guys now finally leave and stay together, because the children are already used to your parenting style, do you worry that there might be a change? Because now he's going to have the kids with him every day. So he might see some styles that you might have been doing that he might not agree with. How do you... So it's not like I want you to envision it, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, I get.
How do you think you would handle it if a situation like that arises when you guys finally leave?
Well, I think for that one, when it comes to parenting styles, I always think like, Lamide, you've done
your part
so much, and then I just want to rest. I just want to rest.
So
you should pick on you should take the part.
If you want to style it, the styling away. It's okay.
I just want to rest. Because when you had to
be the father,
do this one, do this one.
You're the man, you're the woman.
That's how I feel. I just want to rest. So if he sees something that this is how it should be,
bro,
carry on.
Go do it.
I love it.
I just want to rest.
I love it.
Because it's so much.
Yeah,
it's so much. Sometimes I just think about how have I even done this?
So for so long.
My sister will come and say,
11 years,
my sister, if it is me, I can't. I have people that used to say, kilo de gongon, that kind of thing. But I just felt, I try to, not like I don't have
moments.
Like I don't have, I even have sometimes where I see, where if I keep communicating with you, the comments here are coming to tell me, you want to just dampen my spirit. I just shut you out.
It's better.
So
it's better.
A lot of people, like, maybe they'll be like, you don't even know what your husband is doing there and everything. So if you're like that in my corner, I'll just say please, because I know that
you don't need that kind of energy.
I don't need that kind of energy.
Not now.
That kind of energy can't even help me.
Yeah.
So don't even bring it near me.
At all.
So once I see that energy is coming, I just close the door to that chapter.
Fantastic. Lamide, thank you very, 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 very much. It's given me a whole perspective on long distance relationships that I've never really thought about.
Yeah.
We're rooting for you guys.
Yes. And please send me pictures.
Yes, we are hoping.
Yes. So that don't worry, very soon.
Once it clicks.
Very soon.
Very
soon. Very soon. We'll tell you that plan.
It has happened.
So you guys should. Let's hang out together. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you so much.
My love to him and the kids.
And I appreciate everything that you are doing for the kids. And
thank you very much.
Thank you for believing that it is worth it.
Thank you. Yes.
So guys, you've heard long distance relationship. Like she said, communication,
commitment, and efforts.
But above all, be sure before you get into it, and then make sure it has an end date. So if you're in a relationship and it's just long distance,
let's be seen as
let's just be going sharp.
I'm not leaving God out of it.
Yes, and then
because a lot of it, I knew that God, because the way I met my husband, there were a lot of coincidences. Like when my dad told me, are you sure you're not getting married to someone
my friend?
You want to marry someone that is
my age,
something. I'm like,
it's not possible.
When he told me the name, I'm like, I called him. I said, please, my daddy knows this person, and he was like, oh, those are my uncles, and they are also twins as well. Yeah. But they were male twins. He is a twin with a female.
Okay.
So he was, his own is Candy, and then the person's was also Candy, but it was the same surname. So my dad was like, and then
possible.
Was like, okay, that they were very, my dad remembered those people in school, and he was like, they were very reserved, they were very quiet, he had good things
to say about them.
And then at every point in time I had people that just meet him
randomly. So
everything
seems like
it was meant to be.
Exactly, everything was aligned. That's what I said. I think I was sure that he was the one. And then
things were like confirmation.
Things were like confirmation, and then like for instance when he went to the wedding, and then my auntie met him and said, won't be by you, like I'm seeing your husband. And then imagine if
he had gone with someone.
My auntie was telling me that if he had come with someone, that's how we would have caught him.
Yeah.
So when you hear things like that, I'm like, I knew it.
Reinforces.
So just to say, I didn't expect less.
Yeah.
It's just that they were like, Dani, and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. So thanks a lot for joining us. Don't forget to like, share,
and subscribe.
And please, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Send us an email, a DM. We're always going to answer.
Now to the games.
Now to the games. Catch you guys very soon.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another segment.
I'm giving you background, like soundtrack.
I don't need it, please. Shh. Shh. So yeah, welcome to another episode of Love. Another what? Another
game.
banger.
Game.
Another game
Another
segment.
Game.
Yes.
Game.
So today,
game. Okay.
Today's game is we flip the bottle. Whoever's bottle lands straight, leave the paper.
I'm trying to make sure.
Whoever's bottle lands straight gets a turn to do X and O. So which one are you, X and O? Chromosome X, you are O.
X chromosome. Why? Is it X, Y? X. Whatever, man. Like, yeah.
Okay, so
let's do this. Let's do this. We're wasting too much time. I don't have time. I don't talk too much. You know, just make it happen. Let's do this. All right. Who's counting us down? Why are we pausing?
ay.
So we're starting again, Abi?
No, we'll pick up now.
You can't pick up from here. The lights will have been flickering.
No.
It's fine.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. Please, let's action.
No.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen.
He's going to put it in edit.
No.
You need to say it to that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another challenge. Due to irregularities in the last one, we are by popular demand.
It was the light.
By popular demand, we are going to start this game again from scratch. You can quickly watch the replay, please. Okay, who's gonna count us down? Same game as before. No cheating this time.
Who cheated?
Nobody cheated.
You said no cheating. Oh yeah.
So we're doing the same game. Flip the bottle, X and O.
X and O. Okay.
In 3.
He's gonna put the other. You're gonna put the other. Okay. All right.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Is there?
Was there hand involved? Because I have to be watching your hand now. Yeah? I think that one will have stayed for his last round. If the camera was not there, it would have stayed. It didn't stay. To flip it again, my friend. Flip it again.
It's a legal assault. My haters. This whole set, I have too much haters.
Do you want them to replay it? Where you did this, you landed, then you did this. You didn't even use your hand this time. You used your whole body. And then you are saying this thing.
Flex, I'm a mom.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. How do you know shame, woman?
So, that's the end of the segment.
So,
since I
won, it says a tie. It's not a tie. I won fair and square. Say it.
one.
Yeah.
Not. So we'll catch you on the next episode. Please don't forget to like, share, and drop your comments in the section.
And subscribe.
All right, guys. Bye. You're just always cheating. I don't like all these nonsense games. You had your second pregnancy?
Yes. Still as a teacher.
I'm listening to her. I'm fully listening to her. This is an enigma for me.